Ma'am, we can begin. We are live now on YouTube.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so today's topic was retirement income that would last your lifetime. So some of the objectives that we see in retirement planning is for regular income to come because your income stop upon retirement. And what are sources for generating regular income that will come in such a way that you can take care of your expenses. So, before we get into what options are there, of course, ma'am was asking about systematic withdrawal plans, which we will talk about as well. I'll just highlight a few objectives in retirement. When we are planning somebody's retirement and we planning the cash flow or the withdrawals from their assets, when that planning is happening, there are about 4 or 5 key objectives that we have that we keep in mind, right? One is the income has to be regular. It has to come in periodically, right? It cannot be like a dividend income that will come once a quarter. It may come, it may not come. So it can't be that way. There has to be a regular income. Number two, most people want this, that the capital remains safe, right? So how much ever you invest, the capital cannot be cannot be at risk, or you don't want to be withdrawing from the capital. Number three is that you have to have access to the capital, meaning you might have, let's say, 10 lakh rupees, and you're getting, let's say, 10,000 rupees interest. It doesn't mean that 10 lakh rupees is out of your out of your sight. You should also have, if necessary, if there is an emergency, you should have access to the main money that you have put in as well. So that is a key objective. And it has to be easy and low cost. You don't want something that's difficult to maintain, or it is expensive, or it's just a lot of hassle just maintaining that particular asset. Is something that we don't want, because upon retirement you want to reduce the complications, you want to keep it easy, you want to keep it low cost, you want to keep it tax efficient, right? So these are some objectives. Having said all of this, what is very important is also that the money should last. So you don't want a case where you have a pot of money, you're taking regular income out of this pot of money, and then in about 6 or 7 years the money is over, right? You don't want that as well. You want, after getting regular income, safety of capital, access to capital, and easy and low cost options. You want to ensure that this money will last for as long as possible, right? Is this right? Is this what you look for in investment, or did I miss anything here? Is this right, ma'am, when we look for an
Yes,
investment upon retirement?
yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, just highlight a few complications in this. Okay. While this sounds very simple and easy, regular income aana chahiye, why don't you just buy an annuity plan? Right. With that, it's over. Regular income will keep coming. Standard, guaranteed, Government of India guaranteed regular income. So, will that solve the problem? Right. Safety of capital, just keep the money in fixed deposit, solve the problem. Access to capital, just leave the money in savings bank, solves the problem. Easy and low cost, right? So you don't want, it's not as simple and as easy, right? A few complications here are, you want regular income that is sufficient and increasing, right? So the amount of money that you spend today, you will not spend the same amount of money 3 years later. There will be something called inflation, right? We have heard, I once met a client who came to meet us, and 10 years back, when he retired, he bought an annuity plan. So he got, let's say, about, I think, about 1 crore of rupees from all his PF and gratuity and everything. And he used 75% of that money, 75 lakhs, to buy an annuity plan. And that annuity plan was giving him 45,000 rupees every month. The idea was lifetime annuity he will get, and assured annuity, guaranteed money. So he thought, okay, very good, within 45,000 I'll be able to manage my expenses. At that point it was manageable for him, but now 10 years later he's only 67, and he comes and says that right now that money is not enough, right? 45,000 at that point in time was enough, but now my expenses have gone up to about 60, 70,000. The money that I'm getting from this annuity plan is insufficient, right? So you need sufficient money, and it has to be increasing year on year also. Is this right? Did I get that insight right? On
Yes.
now, safety of capital. Now, in safety of capital, there are a few um, There are a few risks. So let's understand, when we mention safety of capital, what we mean here is that it should not be subject to any kind of risk. Now, what are the different kinds of risk? One is that if it is a market or a stock market related investment, there is market risk, right? Stock market goes up, stock market comes down, the value of the property, even gold for that matter, has market risk because the market price of that product is fluctuating. So every day you won't get the same price, or you can't be confident that you will get a certain price from this particular investment. So there are market risks. Number two, there are credit risks. So what is credit risk? Let's say, for example, you would have heard of these cases, right? So chit funds. So they'll give you, promise you 12%, 14% returns. Then the capital itself is lost because the company has gone out of business. So that is what we call as credit risk, right? Sometimes banks go out of business. We've had seen that in the last 5, 6 years. Some companies, some banks went out of business, which means the company that has taken the money as an investment is not a sound company. Their balance sheet is not strong. Their business is not thriving, right? So they're not making profits in their business. So the money that you give them goes along with the rest of the capital that they have, right? So this is called credit risk, meaning this particular investment is not credit worthy, right? So that is called credit risk. Number three is inflation risk. Most people ignore or fail to understand this inflation risk. What we saw earlier in the earlier example, we were seeing that as in India, when we live in India, expenses are growing year on year. It's not so much in maybe other countries like the US or Australia, but in India, the inflation rate is very high. We all know for sure how much, milk 1 liter was costing 2 years back versus what it's costing now. Like a coconut is 45 rupees now. We can't survive without a coconut a week, right? So it's inflation is a reality. And when you have an investment that does not give you returns that beat inflation, you have a issue of purchasing power. The money that you have, the ability for that money to purchase goods and services keeps shrinking, which is also a risk. Most people do not realize this risk because it takes a long time for you to realize that risk. You don't realize it overnight. For example, market risk is something that you will realize overnight. Today you put the money in stock market. Tomorrow, if the markets fall, you will realize that there is market risk. But inflation will not happen overnight. This is slowly, it will, the risk will manifest. For example, how we explain this is that market risk or credit risk is like losing money to a pickpocket, right? So you're walking on the road, a pickpocket comes and takes the money. It is sudden, it is visible, and it is a shock, right? But you will recover because all that you have lost is only the money in the pocket. That's much. If you have money in the bank, let's say 10 lakh rupees, and you have in your bank, let's say 500 rupees, you're only losing that 500 rupees, which is what is market risk or credit risk. But inflation risk is like a bad habit. Okay, slowly and steadily, if you get into some habits like drinking and things like that, or gambling, slowly and steadily, it will take away all of your money, not just the money that you have invested. It will take away your capital also, right? So inflation is a risk that most people don't see, but it is a reality. Okay, it's something that we cannot avoid in a country like India. So all these three risks have to be addressed in the inflation. In the investment, you should have an investment that is low on market risk, which is low on credit risk, and can comfortably cover inflation risk. So this is on safety of capital. On access to capital, one is that there should be easy access. There you should be easily able to take the corpus out. Like, for example, if you buy an annuity plan, there is no way for you to access the capital until the maturity date, right? Number two is without any penalties. Even if you go to the insurance company and say, no, I don't want this anymore, you take it back and give me back my money, they will make a lot of deductions and only then give you, right? So you want an investment that is easy to access and without any penalties. Number four, when it's easy and low cost, you want it to be hassle-free. A lot of retirees I've seen, they count on rental income as a source of income. Like you buy a house, it will give you rental income, right? But it is not easy to maintain a house. You have to pay maintenance, you have to pay tax on the rent that you get. Then the tenant will keep calling you, this is not working, that is not working. So it is a big hassle to maintain the primary property. Tax efficiency is another issue, right? So an interest income is taxable at your highest, at your marginal tax rate. Could you have an investment that has a low tax impact, right? So you will look for options like an SC, of course, a senior citizen savings scheme is taxable income, but you can get some exemptions. So what are various ways in which you can save your tax is also something you will look at in your investment plan. So the money, after all of this, it is important that the money should last your lifetime. So how do you do this tic-tac-toe, right? There are lot of expectations from the money, the pot that you have. Give me regular income, stay safe. Give me easy access to the money, stay hassle-free. And still you have to last your lifetime. Now, how do you find this balance? Now, that is the big question that we are asking, right? So what are some traditional ideas? Where do you usually put in your money to get regular income? So if you have some thoughts, you can please share. The idea is here, Supriya is here, Sangeeta ma'am is here. So what are some traditional places where you are investing money to get regular income?
FDs.
FDs, okay. Only FDs, is it?
I had invested in mutual funds also, but then most of it I have withdrawn and
Okay.
made an FDs.
Okay, okay. Good,
Only
okay.
2 or 3 balanced funds I have.
Great. Okay. So interest from fixed deposit or senior citizen savings scheme is a traditional idea. No problem with it. It is safe. Capital is safe. So from amongst these various objectives that you have, safety of capital is so taken care of. Easy and low cost. Access to capital is questionable because if it is an FD and you go to break the FD ahead of time, then you will have to, pay some penalty for it.
1% less.
Yeah. And regular income comes, but the interest is the same year after year, right? It does not give you. So if you're taking the interest out, your capital does not grow. You have the same. If you put in 10 lakh rupees, it will remain 10 lakh rupees. After 5 years also, it will remain 10 lakhs only because you've taken the interest out. So that is the challenge with it. While
But the part of the interest also, sometimes I invest.
so that is your cash flow, right? So you're able to use less than you get. But the point is your expenses are increasing.
Yeah, true. Yes.
Yeah. So FDs are okay. It's a traditional idea. Interest from fixed deposit is fine. Rent from property, residential or commercial, that's one option. Dividends from shares. So dividends from you can have a share portfolio. You can get regular dividends. It's also a very traditional way of generating income. Annuity income from pension plans. The example that I was telling you, you buy an annuity plan and then you get regular income from pension plans. So these are all time-tested traditional ideas for generating income. Another offbeat idea, I just put it here, give gift to the children and move in with them. They will take care of expenses, could also be an investment, right? Whether it's a good investment or a bad investment, I don't want to comment about it, but it is an idea, right? So these are all traditional ideas for generating income. However, given that a lot of innovations have happened in the market and a lot of new opportunities are available, I would like to just highlight a few other options that you can consider, alternate ideas for income generation. What are the alternate ideas? Like how you were saying rightly, dividends from balance advantage funds. So there are BAF funds which have a combination of equity investment and debt investment. They have regular dividends that are paid out. So the amount of dividend they will pay is a fixed amount. You can't change it, right? So they've been giving regular dividends. These balance advantage funds, they are all mutual funds with exposure to equity stock market and some debt like bonds and government of India securities. So it's a combination. So a fund manager is managing that fund, he's giving some growth, he's making some dividend payments, and you're getting regular income from it. Usually the capital is accessible. You will be able to withdraw also the capital. So it serves the purpose of regular income, and it also serves the purpose of access to capital. Is it completely risk-free? No. There is market risk to it. There could potentially be credit risk also to it, right? So you see that the returns from these investments are not constant all the time. Sometimes they are good, sometimes they are not so good. So there is some risk to these investments. Number two option could be rental income from REITs and InvITs. So while real estate could be an option to invest in and you can get regular rent from there, usually to buy a property, you have to spend a lot of money, right? You have to put in about 1 crore rupees or 75 lakh rupees to buy a property. And then you will get a small amount of rent, let's say 1% or 2% as rent. Let's say, for example, today in Bombay, if you buy a 1 crore worth of property, you will get something like a 20,000, 25,000 rent, right? If you get that much, it's amazing. 20,000, maybe you'll get rent, right? What is 20,000 for 1 year is 2.4 lakhs. Even after paying all your maintenance and all that, let's assume you get 2.2 lakhs as interest rental income. You have invested 1 crore rupees and you're getting 2.2 lakhs, which is 2.2% yield. If you take that 1 crore rupees and keep it in the bank, you will get 6 lakhs as regular interest income, right? So the rental yield from properties in India is actually very minimal. Now, there is also the capital investment is very huge, and whenever you want, you can't take the money out. You can't, partially sell the property, or you can't easily sell the property. To solve that problem, if we are very bullish about real estate, if you think real estate prices are going up, rental yields will increase, then you could buy something called real estate investment trust, which is called REITs. So real estate investment trust also invest in property, but they are like a mutual fund. So they collect everybody's money and buy a property, like the commercial properties, not residential properties. They'll buy commercial properties, and the interest, the dividend, the rental that they collect, they pay out as dividends, right? So this is one option. The yields are slightly higher. The yields are a little bit in the range of 6 to 6.5%. And if there is a growth in the property value also, the REITs value keep increasing, right? So you can get the benefit of capital growth as well as higher yield. Plus, you can also get access to the capital. So when you say, I don't want this money anymore, I don't want to make this investment anymore, I want to exit, you can exit the REITs or invest. So this is one alternate idea for investment. Only if you believe that real estate is an asset class you want, and real estate will yield you enough investment returns, right? So that is one. The third option could be systematic withdrawal plans. So this is what Sangeeta ma'am was asking at the beginning. You can invest in a mutual fund and you can fix a certain amount to withdraw every month. It is the reverse of a systematic investment plan. A SIP, or a systematic investment plan, that you're seeing a lot of it being advertised everywhere. A systematic investment plan is you fix a certain amount of money to invest every month into a fund, right? So there is a fund where everybody is investing money. The fund manager is managing the money and investing it in the stock market. If he's making profits, he shares the profits. Your value of your investment goes up, you can sell and realize the profit. You make systematic investment when as long as you are earning, you make systematic investments into the fund, right? Which is called SIP. After your earnings stop and you've come to this stage where you're not earning anymore, but you have accumulated some wealth and you want the money back now to spend for the next 20 years, you want to be spending the money, you can now set up something called a systematic withdrawal plan. Now, what is the benefit of the systematic withdrawal plan is, number one, you can decide how much to withdraw. So it's not like the bank will decide, I will give you only so much interest, or the annuity plan will decide, I'll give you only so much interest. You can say, this year, I want 5 lakh rupees from my investment. Every month, give me 42,000 rupees. You can fix like that. Next month, you can say, increase my 40,000 rupees to 45,000 rupees. Third year, you can say, no, this year, some of my expenses are going to be lesser. Reduce my 45,000 rupees to 43,000 rupees. You can be flexible about how much you want to withdraw from your portfolio. Now, let's say you have 50 lakh rupees and you are withdrawing 40,000 rupees every month, right? So, or let's say, for example, you're investing 10 lakh rupees and withdrawing 10,000 rupees every month. Now, what happens to the 9,90,000 rupees? You've withdrawn 10,000 rupees. What happens to the rest of the 9,90,000 rupees? The rest of the 9,90,000 rupees is invested in an investment like an equity investment. When it's invested in equity markets, it grows as per the equity markets with the potential for earning returns that can beat inflation. So systematic withdrawal plans are a beautiful option available from mutual funds for people who are seeking regular income from their assets. You can explore this. You can reach out to a mutual fund distributor or your financial advisor if you have one. They will be able to explain this to you and set up something like this for you. You can choose how much risk to take, how much returns to earn, how much regular income to earn. You can do all of that. So there's a lot of control over how your investments will work with a systematic withdrawal plan. The fourth idea is the three bucket plan. So this is something that we do for all our clients. Now, what is this three bucket plan? We distribute the money into three buckets, right? So the first bucket is emergency money and year zero money. So this year, let's say in 2025, you are estimating that you need 40,000 rupees every month. So the 40,000 into 12 is 4.8 lakhs. You would like to keep, let's say, a couple of lakhs for emergency also. So this year, you are going to need something like about 6.5 to 7 lakh rupees. So that money you will keep in the first bucket. Now, this bucket will be invested in liquid mutual funds or, a combination of bank deposits. So it will be very safe money. You can do a systematic withdrawal plan from this fund into your bank account and take the money and spend. Now, the second bucket will be expenses that you will need for the next year, 1 year to 4 years. So this is year zero. Then the next year, the year after, the year after. For 3 years, the amount of money that you are going to need. So you make an estimation. So if your average expenditure is 40,000 rupees a month, you're saying about 5 lakh rupees a year. So you take 15 lakh rupees and keep it in the second bucket, right? So 15 lakh rupees in the second bucket can be slightly more risky. So you can take some debt funds or you can take some balance funds and you can take so that you get slightly more returns. So it doesn't have to lie in the bank and earn only 4 or 5%. It can earn you something like 7%, 8%, slightly more return, yet remain safe. So at all point in time, you have money for this year and the next 3 years in very safe options. Now, the money that you need after 5 years can be kept in something that can earn you higher returns, even if it is at a slight amount of risk. Why is this important? If you don't do this, the possibility that your money gets over very fast is very high, because if you start withdrawing, see, one option is that you keep on reducing your expenses. You keep on compromising on lifestyle. Keep reducing your expenses year on year, because how much money you get as interest is a constant, but expenses are going up. Your increased income is not going up. So you have to keep on reducing your expenses. Alternatively, what you can do is the money that you need 5 years later, why should that be so safe? Why can't we take some amount of risk with the objective of earning some higher return on it, right? The stock markets are making profits. India is a growing country. If you don't make use of it, somebody else is making use of it. That's all. I understand that you want your money to be safe, but the money that you need 10 years from now, 15 years from now, what is the need for that to be so safe, right? If you take a little bit risk on it, the possibility of that money lasting a little longer is much higher. So what we do, we create the third bucket, which is in managed funds, which is risk. The risk is carefully watched, but it is a periodically rebalanced managed fund, which can potentially earn you something like 10%, 12%. You don't withdraw from it. You keep the money, let it grow. Market ups and downs it sees, but you allow it to grow. This way, what happens is you get the benefit of regular cash flows with complete freedom on how much you want in cash. You get easy access to the money. You have money for emergency, and you also try and elongate the possibility of the money lasting for a long time. So all the 5 objectives that you have identified here: regular income, safety of capital, access to capital, and easy and low cost options with the money lasting for your lifetime, can all be taken care of with this strategy called the 3 bucket plan, right? So this is a potential idea or a tradition. It's a non-traditional, offbeat, smart, alternate idea for managing your money, which you can consider if you want all your objectives with generating regular income to be managed. So this is what I wanted to share with you all today. If you have any specific questions, I am happy to answer.
For that systematic withdrawal,
Yes.
what could be the amount required approximately?
you can fix any amount to invest and any amount to withdraw, ma'am. Depending on how much you withdraw, the money will last that long. Say, for example, if you are investing 10 lakh rupees and you withdraw 10,000 rupees every month, right? Which means every year you are withdrawing 1.2 lakhs.
So 10 goes every month.
Every month you can choose. You can take out 15,000 also, no problem. You can take out 20,000 also, depending on. So if you're taking out 10,000, your money will
That much
maybe last.
earlier it will it will
Yes,
get
it
over
will get
earlier.
over in 8 or 9 years. If you
Okay.
take 2 lakh rupees, it will get over in 5 or 6 years. If you take out 3 lakh rupees, it will get over in 3 or 4 years. So that's what it is. So,
Okay, and
but
this bucket one,
the
in
the
this three
bucket
bucket
the
system,
bucket is yeah, it is a slightly so it won't be one single investment, right? So there will be 2 3 different investments. There will be a liquid fund investment, there will be a balance fund investment, and then there will be a equity portfolio. So there will be a 3 funds, and withdrawal will happen only from one fund. The others you will not touch, you will just let it grow. Withdrawal will happen only from one fund. Every year you will take money from the middle bucket and keep it in the lower bucket to take care of that year's expenditure. So that requires a slightly more active management. So while the systematic withdrawal plan from a balance fund is very easy, I mean, you just put there and you can forget about it and worry about it when the money gets over. This will require a slight amount of active management. Every year you have to do a little activity of withdrawing from one fund and putting it in another fund so that you can set up the systematic withdrawals.
so
So
that you have to play with yourself.
no, that if you can get some help. Somebody will be able to, a mutual fund distributor or a financial advisor will be able to set this up for you. They will set up a systematic withdrawal plan from a liquid fund. They will identify 2 3 funds for the middle bucket. They will identify 4 5 schemes for the bigger bucket, and then they will manage this for you, providing regular income. So this strategy we have seen will elongate your portfolio or the longevity of money by approximately 7 to 10 years. If you do this properly, if in the normal course you just have a fixed deposit and you're taking money out, how long your money will last, let's say will last 15 years. With this bucket strategy, we have seen money lasting maybe for about 22 23 years. So you can elongate the longevity of the money to that extent because one bucket is growing at a faster rate. So it is giving you a little more longevity for the money. That is what it is.
And what if some, those who have retired long back,
Yes.
maybe 30 years back, 40 years back.
Yes.
So, and that time the amount that they would have got will be even less than 7 8 lakhs. What best to get best returns? What are the options for them for very senior, super senior citizens?
Super
They call
senior
it super
citizens
senior.
also can do systematic withdrawal plans. There is nothing that is stopping them. But how much is the question? So if you have an 8 lakh, 10 lakh portfolio, how much can you withdraw from that is a question. So if you have
That
it,
is
yeah, so that becomes
the system for us as well as them.
yes. So yes, it has to work. So if you all retired 30 years back and you're okay with money lasting another 5 6 years only, then you can withdraw a higher amount. But if you withdraw, so the systematic withdrawal plans can be set for anything. You can, but the compromise will always be how much risk you take with the corpus and how long you want the money to last. So you
And
have
fixed deposits in good cooperative banks versus big,
nationalized bank.
it's a state bank, nationalized banks.
So
Or
national
state.
banks may be lower risk, cooperative banks will be higher risk. If they are giving you higher returns, then they will be higher risk. We have heard of,
These days, rates are almost same for all banks, no?
so if they are same, then why do you take risk? As well
Or,
keep the money in nationalized banks, right? So we saw some examples of cooperative banks going bankrupt. Did we see that in the last 5 years?
yes,
Right.
yes.
So why will you, without you not even getting additional interest, why are you taking that risk? As well keep the money in the bank. However, that that the regular income will be whatever they give you. That's all. So you're not flexible with the amounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is what I wanted to share. So happy to answer any questions. If not, then thank you for this opportunity.
Ma'am, we do have a question from our jealous community.
Yes.
So there is a gentleman's question is, my children are financially independent, but I
Okay.
still wanted to leave something for them.
Sorry.
What,
We can't hear,
hello?
please.
Say that again.
Yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
So the question is, my children are financially independent, but I
Yes.
still want to leave something for them. How
Okay.
should I manage and balance my retirement needs and their inheritance?
So if you have enough money to leave behind, and write a will, and then leave whatever is remaining behind for them. If you know that you have a lot more money than you will need, let's say, for the rest of your lifetime, you need an X amount of money, but you have X plus money, you can gift them right away. Let's say, okay, I'm going to gift both my children so much money, and with that, it's over. That is also a possibility. But how can you balance is completely your lookout. How much do you want to spend? How much do you want to leave behind? It comes at a compromise. If you want to leave behind money for the children, it comes at a compromise for your lifestyle. So what do you want better? You want to live a comfortable life now, spend the money, have fun now, or leave behind for the children is a personal choice. How you can do it is you can write a will or you can gift the money right away. So these are two options for you to do it. How much? You will have to do the mathematics and find out how much you have to keep for yourself and how much you have to give to your children.
Okay, thank you. That was the question.
Okay. Anything else?
Um,
Is that it?
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for attending. So, Sangeeta ji, thank you for attending today's session. We will meet again on Monday next week. Hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.